Please welcome Representative Venton Jones.
Good evening, Texas Democrats. Can I get that just a little bit louder? Good evening, Texas Democrats. Some of us has traveled hundreds of miles to be here today, so it is so great to be here. My name is State Representative Venton Jones, and I represent House District 100 in my hometown of Dallas, Texas. I would like to take this moment to thank Chairman Gilberto Hinojosa, Vice Chair Shea Warwick Cathy, and the rest of the Texas Democratic Party staff for all of their hard work organizing thousands of Democrats to be here in the wonderful city of El Paso. And so this session was historic. We, each and every one of you in this room, grew the number of out LGBTQ elected officials in the Texas House to the highest it's ever been. This was a feat that would not have happened without the historic elections of not one, not two, not even three, but 4 Black LGBTQ members of the Texas House for the first time in history. Representatives Jolanda Jones, Representatives Josie Garcia, Christian Manuel, and myself. And so it's important because for the first time, the Texas House LGBTQ caucus had Black representation. And for the first time, the Texas Legislative Black Caucus had LGBTQ representation. Intersectionality and representation matters. And so as we prepare for the 89th legislative session, we elected Representative-elect Lauren Simmons, a true Democrat, to serve the people of House District 146. We also elected the first LGBTQ state senator, Molly Cook, to the Texas Senate, and that deserves to be celebrated. And so, I know some of you may be thinking, I can get elected 1 Black LGBTQ member, but 4? Really? Yes. And the funny thing is that we were not running to be the first anything. We were running because we were sick and tired of the far-right attacks happening on our communities. We were sick and tired of seeing Black bodies die at the hands of injustice. We were sick and tired of Black trans women being murdered in the streets with no justice or no respect for their lives. Most importantly, we ran because we represented each of our districts because that was the place that we were born and raised in. The people that we serve were not just our constituents. They were our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, our cousins, our community. And this session was also historic for another reason that I take no honor in mentioning this evening. For the first time in history, we had to navigate the most hateful legislative session against LGBTQ people, against people of color, against women, against our Texan children and their families. What we know about Texan Democrats, though, is that when times get rough, we don't run, we fight. And that's exactly what Texan Democrats in the House and Senate did every single day of the regular session and throughout the 4 special sessions in 2023 to fight the over 140 anti-LGBTQ bills that were filed by Republicans. And despite Republicans controlling the House, the Senate, and the governorship, we killed almost every single piece of anti-LGBTQ legislation that made its way throughout our bodies. We managed to kill bills like House Bill 1155, which would criminalize teachers for discussing sexual orientation in education settings like health classes. We killed HB 3147, which would have forced trans women to share jail cells with cis males. We killed Senate Bill 163, which would allow parents to withdraw their children from sexual education class, comprehensive, age-appropriate sexual education classes. And so this was good, but let me tell you this. It is not enough in this social and political climate. It is abundantly clear right now that we are under attack by the far right, and anyone who chooses to be silent while LGBTQ people and their families are being forced out of this state are complicit in those attacks too. It will not be over until we change the elected leadership in our state officials. We have just had our primary elections and our runoffs. I want everyone here to know that 46 Republicans were primaried this past cycle, many of whom were primaried for being too moderate or bipartisan. Let me say this one more time. We had 46 Republicans primaried this cycle for being too moderate, and 15 of them lost their elections. We must spend the next 150 days leading to the general election to register voters, to turn out Texan Democrats, and do everything in our power to flip House and Senate seats. We need to send Ted Cruz packing his bags back to Cancun and elect Colin Allred as our next U.S. Senator representing the great state of Texas. We have to do everything we can to send President Joe Biden for a second term and prevent Donald Trump from overturning our democracy. And with that, there's so much at stake in this election, and I know that we say this almost every year, but if you know me, you know that I don't just talk the talk. This is a critical timing in our American history where our children's grandchildren will say, what did we do when democracy was at stake? And as I prepare to close, I would like to say to all of you in this room, Texan Democrats, thank you for believing in the American dream, the ideal that every citizen in the United States should be treated equally and have the opportunity to achieve success and prosperity through hard work, through determination and initiative. And if you don't know my story, you can't understand my glory, because I, as a black gay man, and the first black state legislator living openly with HIV, I was not supposed to be here. And by the grace of God and through the efforts of a community that feeds me daily, I made it. I honor this by giving my all to this position. To the black and LGBTQ ancestors whose shoulders we stand on, we honor you. We thank you for making a way out of the situations and circumstances where there seems like there was no way. And it is this faith that we Democrats must tap into if we are to get through these dark days and turn Texas blue again. And so with that, I say thank you so much. Thank you to my colleagues that's joined me on this stage, and God bless. Let's win this state, Texas.